So I had somebody reach out to me who has a big Instagram following. They said, I have this huge following, but I'm not making any money. What am I doing wrong? I checked their website and their socials and saw that while they were great at building a brand, they were missing a few key fundamentals, and all that attention they were getting was like sand sifting through their fingers. They were shooting their chance of making money in the foot. I'm able to make multiple six figures per year with a fraction of that following just because I have these pieces in place, and that's what we're going to cover today. There are 5 key steps to making money as a personal brand or as a creator or a coach, and you must bolt these on in the order that we're going to cover them today. If you've ever bought a course from some dude who teaches the 5 steps to getting clients from Instagram, and then you do what his course says and it doesn't work, it's because the dude left out all the important stuff that you have to have in place before you have any business being on Instagram. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Today, I'm going to put the puzzle pieces together for you once and for all and share with you the 5 steps that you must take in order to make money with your personal brand. And by the way, this list took me like 8 years of being in this industry to finally wrap my head around. I still look at this list almost daily to remind myself of the things that I need to be focusing on. So I'm not trying to act holier than thou. I'm still on the journey figuring this stuff out myself, but I want to share what I've put together because this helps me to stay on track so much. Step number 1 is to create your $100 million offer. I want you to imagine a store in the mall that had nothing for sale, and the owner was complaining about not making any money and confused about what he was supposed to do to fix his business. That would be pretty funny, right? Creators on the internet are doing the equivalent of that all the time. They are off building their funnel when they do not even have an offer yet. They don't realize that the offer is what goes into the funnel. So without an offer, the funnel is like a hollow shell. So if you want to build a personal brand that makes money, the first step is to have something to sell. I labeled this step your $100 million offer because Alex Hormozi's book by the same name teaches you how to do that better than anything else. However, it does leave out some important details like how to decide who your offer is going to be for and how to decide what your offer actually does. What is the quantifiable result that it delivers? I go over how to do those in detail in my book, Nail Your Niche. And you also, as a bonus, get a crash course on the $100 million offer book so you can create your offer without reading the actual book. You can get the book and all the bonuses for just the price of shipping at nailyourniche.net. So let's pretend that you went through that and you decided that I'm going to help dads lose weight. And you created an offer that delivered just that. Let's walk through the rest of the steps with that example in mind. And now that you have something to sell, let's move on to step number 2. Step number 2 is to build your funnel. And you might be thinking, but Brian, you've said before that I don't really need a funnel. And while this is technically true, if you don't have a funnel, you're missing out on one of the best sources of internet leverage there is. For example, if you help dads lose weight, you could write a book that teaches your method and then sell it inside of your funnel. For a quicker solution, you could literally just have a page with a video on it that showed a case study of a dad that you already helped lose weight with a button right below that says, apply for one-on-one coaching. Then you ask people to opt in using their email address to watch that case study. After they watch it, they can apply to work with you. If they don't, you have their email so you can build an automated sequence that follows up with them and pushes them back to that case study page. So the reason why a funnel is great is it will collect new emails for you, which will be very important for a step we are about to cover. Then that case study or the book or whatever you have in your funnel is going to warm people up to the idea of working with you in a higher ticket engagement. And it's going to automatically follow up with all the people who actually do not sign up. And so it's this machine that you build one time and then it works forever for you while you are sleeping. So you could do every step of that manually, but it's not sustainable. It makes no sense. So once you have an offer in place, it makes sense to build a funnel to help you sell it. Step number 3 is prospect follow-up. This is something that you probably didn't expect me to talk about, but in the name of sand sifting through your fingers, this is one of the biggest mistakes people make. So imagine you've got that funnel set up. Some people are booking a call or they're filling out an application to work with you. Let's say for every 10 people that you get on a sales call, you close 2 of them. So you have a 20% close rate. But what about the other 8 people that said no? Do you just peace out on those people and let them blow into the wind? That would be one of the biggest mistakes you could make, because the people who actually took the time to take a call with you are the closest thing to money that you have. And all the follow-up studies show that it takes 6 to 12 touches with a brand before a consumer can make a buying decision. They have to spend somewhere between 7 to 8 hours with a brand before they start to trust it. While a person might say no to you today, it doesn't mean they're going to be a no forever. You don't want to go out and make all this noise, create all this content if you're not even following up with the warmest leads that you have. And by the way, don't be a douche and say, hey, just following up, I wanted to see if you wanted to work together. That's really lame and it just comes off as desperate. What you want to think about is, how can I add value to this person? And so you had a call with them. They told you what their problems are. They told you what they think they need. You have an idea of what they might really need. What I like to do is I'll see someone that I want to follow up with and I'll think, man, 2 weeks ago, I posted a video on YouTube that solves the problem that they came to me with entirely. I'm going to send them the link to that video and a little description about why I think they would benefit from watching it. I just continue to serve them and add value. That's the way that I like to follow up with people and get clients from those sales calls where they did not decide to work with me initially. You can literally double the revenue in your creator business by just following up with the people that you've spoken to. Okay, once you have an offer and you have a funnel and you are following up with the people that come to you, the next step is to send daily emails. This is something I learned recently from Dan Henry. I'm not doing it yet. I want to make sure that I can keep the quality really high while I ramp up the amount of touch points. But next to those warm prospects that we talked about following up with in the previous step, the people on your email list are the next closest thing you have to money. I have been leaving a lot of money on the table by not emailing my list more than I do, which is currently just about once a week. So for our example, you might send an email to your list saying, here's my story of being an overweight dad and all the things I tried that didn't work. The next day you might say, here is the number 1 mistake that overweight dads make that keeps them stuck. And in each email, you tell stories, you add real value, and then guess what? You point them back to that funnel that we created in step number 2. If you make a damn good offer, you have a funnel in place, you are following up with all the prospects that you talk to that don't become clients, and you are sending daily emails, you have this bulletproof system in place. Instead of the sand sifting through your fingers are closed and you're catching as much of it as you possibly can. Now it is time to turn on the gas. Step number 5 is to ramp up your content. I can't stress how important it is to build your audience. There are people that make 6 figures in this industry that don't have any of the stuff that we've talked about so far. They don't have an offer or a funnel or an email list. They're not following up with anybody. They're literally making 6 figures from AdSense and sponsorship deals and affiliates. Now, a lot of those guys have figured out that they could 5 to 10x their revenue by adding in what we talk about in this video. But the fact that they can do it without that, with just having a huge audience, shows how powerful it is for you to grow an audience. And once you've bolted on everything we talked about in steps 1 through 4, ramping up your content system will be where most of your time should be spent. But Content is this whole other animal on its own, and it is a learning curve. I'm going to share with you the 3 content commandments that I have learned in the last couple of years that have really helped me out a lot. But I'll be honest with you, out of all the steps we've covered, this is my biggest weakness. This is my biggest area that I'm looking to improve in 2024. Commandment number 1 is high quality. So people pay more with their time than they do with their money. If someone clicks on your YouTube video and they take the time to watch it and they don't feel like it was a good use of their time, they're going to be less likely to click on a future video of yours. For me, it's really important to make really high quality content that is going to make somebody even more likely to click on my next video, and even more importantly, to share that video with someone. Because when you can create content that is so good, it is shareable, that is the real way to grow an organic audience that's going to really have your back, buy your stuff, and trust you. And so just ramping up content for the sake of doing more, if it's crappy and it's hurting your reputation, is stupid. Content commandment number 2, 80% broad and 20% niche. This is something I learned within the past year from Dan Coe, and it's something that I'm still working to understand and implement in my own business. The basic idea is that you don't make all your content about helping dads lose weight, because then you just become known for the guy who helps dads lose weight. You're kind of pigeonholed in that niche. You probably get tired of making content about just that. It's hard to grow really big because it's a pretty niche audience of people. You may not want to do that forever. You may want to add other products and things, but you won't be able to if everything you make is around your niche. Content commandment number 3 is 1 platform at a time. So it's not wise to try and grow on every social media platform at once. That would be like trying to spin 10 plates at the same time. Instead, prioritize just 1 platform and repurpose that content to other platforms. Once that platform that you're focusing on is systemized and it's growing and it's not taking much of your time, that is your signal to shift your focus to building your second platform. This is a big mistake I've been making the whole time, thinking I can properly have a YouTube channel and a podcast and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and whatever else there is. And it's just not possible to do all of that effectively at the same time. There you have it, guys. That is the 5 steps to building a personal brand that makes you money. And one last thing before you go. Remember in step 2, we talked about building your funnel. If you take the time to write a book and use that as what you sell in your funnel, it is the best way to warm prospects up to working with you, because a book buyer and a reader is a much higher caliber prospect than someone who is a freebie seeker just looking to download a lead magnet. But not any book will do. You need to write what I call a client-getting book. You can get a free copy of my latest book that shows you exactly how to do this. You just cover the cost of shipping at getclientswithA.com. I hope this has lined up the dominoes for you so you can go knock them down. If you want to learn more about how to build a credible personal brand fast using a book, check this video out here. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you soon.